I held the test in my shaking hand when Ethan walked into the apartment. "Why are the lights off?" he asked. "Lena?" "I'm here," I whispered. He laughed lightly. "You scared me. What's going on?" My throat tightened. "We need to talk." He groaned. "That sentence is never good news." I stepped closer and placed the test in his palm. I took 3. They all say the same thing.
He stared at it.
No reaction. I waited for surprise. Maybe panic. Maybe even a nervous smile. Instead, silence. "Say something," I begged. He swallowed. "Is this a joke?"
No.
He sat down slowly. "No, no, no, no." My heart dropped. "Ethan, I just got promoted," he said, rubbing his forehead. "I have meetings, travel plans. I can't. This can't happen right now." It already did. He stood up and paced. "Did you plan this?" My chest tightened. "What?" "You know my mom already thinks you're trying to tie me down." "I would never trap you." He didn't answer. That hurt more than any insult. I grabbed his sleeve. "Look at me. I'm scared too. But we can figure it out together." He gently removed my hand. "I'm not ready to be a father," he said quietly. "You don't have to be perfect. Just stay." He shook his head. "You don't understand my life." "You're my life," I whispered. His jaw tightened. "And that's the problem." I felt like the floor moved beneath me. What does that mean? I worked for years to get where I am. A baby now ruins everything. Ruins. My voice cracked. "This is our child." He looked away. "My mother will never accept this." "I'm not asking your mother," I said. "I'm asking you." Silence again. I felt my eyes burn. "Please don't leave me alone in this." He walked toward the door. I grabbed his arm. "Ethan, don't." He stopped but didn't turn around. "Say you'll stay," I whispered. His voice came out cold and distant. "This baby will ruin my life." The words sliced through me. I let go. He picked up his keys. "Where are you going?" I asked. "I need air. At midnight. I need to think." "Think here," I pleaded. "With me." He opened the door. "If you walk out," I said, "things won't be the same." He paused only a second. Then he left. The lock clicked. I stood frozen, staring at the door, waiting for the handle to turn again. It didn't. Minutes passed. Then an hour. I slid down against the wall and pressed my hand to my stomach. "Hey," I whispered softly. "I'm still here." My voice trembled. "I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to be strong." Tears ran down my cheeks. "But I won't leave you." I curled around myself on the bathroom floor. "It's just you and me now," I said. Outside, a car drove away. And I knew he wasn't coming back tonight. I stood outside Ethan's childhood house for almost 10 minutes before knocking. The door opened. Not Ethan. His mother. Margaret Cole looked me up and down like she already knew why I came. "So," she said calmly, "you finally showed up." My hands tightened around my bag. "I need to talk to Ethan." "You can talk to me." "It's personal." "Yes," she replied, stepping aside. "Very personal." I walked inside slowly. The house smelled the same, expensive candles and cold silence. Then I saw him. Ethan stood in the living room, arms crossed, eyes avoiding mine. "You didn't answer my calls," I said. He didn't respond. Margaret sat elegantly on the couch. "Sit down, Lena." I remained standing. "I'm pregnant." She smiled faintly. "I know." My chest tightened. "He told you." "I asked," she said. "A mother notices when her son's future is about to collapse." I looked at Ethan. "Future?" He rubbed his temple. "Lena." Margaret raised a hand. "Let's make this simple." She opened her purse and placed an envelope on the table. Thick. Heavy. My stomach dropped. "What is that?" "Compensation." My voice trembled. "For what?" "For ending this mistake." My ears rang. "You mean abortion?" "Yes." I stared at Ethan. "Say something." He looked at the floor. Margaret continued, calm as ever. "You're young. You made a bad decision. We're helping you fix it. This isn't a broken phone, I whispered. It's a baby. It's a problem, she corrected. I shook my head slowly.
No.
She pushed the envelope toward me. Take it. You'll be comfortable for months. I don't want your money. You need it, she replied. You can barely support yourself. I'll manage. She leaned forward. Don't be stubborn. You cannot trap my son with pregnancy. I'm not trapping anyone. My voice cracked. Ethan flinched but still didn't speak. I turned to him. Tell her. He whispered. Maybe she's right. My breath stopped. Right about what? That we aren't ready. I felt heat behind my eyes. Ready or not, it exists. Margaret sighed. You'll ruin his career before it begins. I didn't make this alone, I said quietly. No, she replied, but you chose to keep it. I held my stomach. Yes. She pushed the envelope closer again. Last chance. I stepped back.
No.
Her eyes hardened. Then understand something. We will not support you. I didn't come for support, I said. I came for him. Ethan still didn't move. Please, I whispered. Just say you care. Silence filled the room. Margaret spoke instead. You'll regret keeping it. My heart cracked, not from her cruelty, but his quiet agreement. I nodded slowly.
Maybe.
But I'd regret losing him more. I turned toward the door. Ethan finally spoke. Lena, wait. Hope rose painfully. I turned around. He hesitated. I need time. My voice broke. The baby doesn't pause for your convenience. Margaret stood. This conversation is over. I opened the door myself. Before leaving, I looked at Ethan one last time. You didn't lose your future today, I said softly. You lost me. I stepped outside. My hands shook as I reached the sidewalk. Tears blurred everything, but my voice stayed steady. I'm keeping you, I whispered to my stomach. I walked away without looking back. Nora opened the door before I finished knocking. You look terrible, she said softly, then pulled me into a hug. Come inside. I dropped my bag on the floor. I didn't know where else to go. You don't have to explain, she said. Couch is yours. Blanket too. And I made soup. I tried to smile. You always save me. She shook her head.
No.
You just finally let me. I sat down slowly. My stomach twisted. I rushed to the sink. Morning sickness? She asked, holding my hair. Morning, afternoon, night. I muttered. Baby doesn't believe in schedules. She handed me water. Did he call? I shook my head. Good, she said firmly. He doesn't deserve the update. I whispered. I keep thinking he'll come back. Nora sat beside me. And if he doesn't? I touched my stomach. Then I learn. That night, I cried quietly into her pillow. Hey, she said from the doorway. You're allowed to be scared. I'm not scared, I lied. You're shaking. I just thought I wouldn't be alone. She came over and sat beside me. You're not alone. You just changed teams. I laughed weakly. Single mother team? Strong women team. I wiped my face. Do you think I can do this? She squeezed my hand. I think you already are. The next morning I whispered to my stomach. Good morning. We survived day one. At the clinic, I waited nervously until a warm voice called, Lena Carter? I stood up. A gentle man smiled. I'm Dr. Harris. Come in. I sat on the bed, gripping the sheet. I'm sorry, I don't know what I'm doing. He chuckled softly. Nobody does the first time. I'm alone, I said. He pulled a stool closer. You're not the first patient to sit there without a partner. I feel judged everywhere I go. Well, he said, putting gel on the monitor. Not here. I stared at the ceiling. I'm scared I'll mess up. You will, he said casually. I blinked. What? All parents mess up. Good ones stay anyway. My eyes filled. I want to stay. He pointed at the screen. Then meet your reason. A fast, tiny sound filled the room. I froze. What is that? He smiled. Heartbeat. My breath caught. That's mine. Yours to protect. Tears slid down my cheeks. Hi, I whispered. I'm your mom. Dr. Harris handed me tissues. You just made a decision, didn't you? I nodded slowly. Yes. Say it out loud, he said gently. My voice shook but stayed steady. I'm keeping you. I placed my hand over the sound echoing through the speakers. Even if I break. He nodded. You won't break. You'll bend. I laughed softly. I hope so. On the way home, I held the ultrasound picture tight. Nora opened the door. Well, I showed her the image. She gasped. That tiny bean is the boss now. The boss forever, I said. She hugged me carefully. You're going to be okay. I looked down at my stomach and whispered, We're going to be okay. Mrs. Alvarez handed me the keys and smiled gently. It's small, but walls that keep rain out are better than big dreams that don't. I laughed weakly. Small sounds perfect. She looked at my stomach. You need quiet more than space. I need affordable, I admitted. She nodded. Then welcome home. The apartment was barely one room and a kitchen, but sunlight touched the floor. I placed my bag down and whispered, We made it. A loud drip answered me from the sink. I stared at it. Please don't start today. The pipe groaned. Then water sprayed everywhere. Great, I muttered, grabbing a towel. A knock came at the door. I opened it halfway. A tall man stood there holding a toolbox. A little girl peeked from behind his leg. Hi, he said softly. Water emergency? I blinked. You heard that. The girl nodded seriously. It sounded like our shower explosion last winter. I laughed despite myself. I'm Lena. Lucas, he replied. This is Mia.
She waved.
Hi, baby lady. I smiled. Hi, small detective. Lucas gestured inside. May I? Please. He crouched under the sink. You just moved in. Yes. Pipes here hate newcomers, he said. Mia walked around the room. You don't have a couch. Working on it. She thought carefully. We have cookies. That helps homes. Lucas chuckled. Mia solves emotional problems. I leaned on the counter. Thank you for helping. I can't pay much. He shook his head. Neighbors help neighbors. I hesitated. Really, thank you. Water stopped leaking. He tightened one last bolt.
There.
Temporary fix. You saved me, I said. Mia pointed at my stomach. Does baby like cookies? I think baby likes kind people. Lucas stood up. If anything breaks, knock. I nodded. You didn't ask questions. He shrugged gently. Everyone has a story. People tell it when ready. My chest softened. That's rare. He picked up his toolbox. Peace is quieter than curiosity. Mia grabbed his hand. Bye, baby lady. Bye, Mia. After they left, the apartment felt warmer. That evening I knocked on his door. He opened it surprised. Everything okay? I held a plate. Peace offering. Instant noodles. He smiled. Fair trade. Mia clapped. Dinner friends. We sat at the small table. She asked, Where is baby dad? I froze. Lucas gently said, Some dads live far away. I whispered, Very far. Mia nodded like she understood everything. We ate quietly. For the first time in months, silence didn't hurt. As I left, Lucas said, You're doing fine. I paused. You don't know that. He smiled softly. You stayed. Back in my apartment, I sat on the bed and touched my stomach. That felt calm, I whispered. No fear. No pressure. Just quiet. And I realized not every man's presence made me feel abandoned. Thunder cracked so loudly, I dropped the cup in my hand. A sharp pain followed. I grabbed the table. Okay, that's new. Another wave hit harder. I gasped. No, not tonight. Lightning flashed through the window. My phone slipped from my hand as I dialed. Nora, pick up, please pick up. She answered instantly. Lena? I think it's happening. How far apart? Close enough that I hate you for asking. I'm coming. Don't move. I hung up and tried breathing. We practiced this. I told my stomach. Calm breathing. We are calm people. Pain answered me. I bent over the couch. We are not calm people. Another knock exploded on my door. I opened it halfway before another contraction forced me to grab Lucas's arm. Whoa, he said gently. Okay, that answers the question. Nora rushed in behind him. Hospital.
Now.
I can walk, I insisted. Another pain hit. Lucas said calmly, You cannot walk. They helped me downstairs. Rain poured like the sky broke open. In the car, I squeezed Nora's hand. I'm not ready. You've been ready for months, she said. I screamed as pain surged. F. The name stopped in my throat. Silence filled the car except for rain. Lucas didn't look back. He just drove faster. I swallowed hard. Never mind. Nora squeezed me tighter. You don't need him. I whispered. I know. At the hospital, the nurse said, First baby? Yes, I groaned. She smiled kindly. You're doing well. I feel like I'm dying. That means progress. Hours blurred.
Pain.
Breathing. Voices. Push, Lena. I am pushing. You're doing great. I hate everyone here. Nora laughed nervously. You said that last contraction. I cried out again. Then suddenly, a cry filled the room. Small.
Loud. Alive.
My chest collapsed with relief. The nurse placed him in my arms. I stared. Hi. Tears fell instantly. You're real. Congratulations, she said softly. What time? I asked. 2:14 a.m. I kissed his forehead. Welcome to the world. Nora whispered, He's perfect. I nodded. His name is Aiden. The nurse smiled. Beautiful name. I looked around. Lucas.
He's outside, Nora said.
Wouldn't leave the hallway. I laughed weakly. Of course. Morning came slowly. A nurse handed me papers. Birth certificate. I held the pen. Mother's name, Lena Carter. Father's name. My hand trembled. Take your time, she said. I stared at the blank line. Memories hit, promises, silence, a closing door. I exhaled and left it empty. The pen felt lighter after. Later, Nora stepped out to get coffee. Lucas knocked softly and stood in the doorway. May I? I nodded. He didn't step close, just smiled gently. Hi, Aiden. Aiden made a tiny sound. Lucas chuckled. Strong voice. Thank you, I whispered. You did good, he said quietly. I was terrified. You still stayed. I looked at my son's face. I'll always stay. He nodded once. If you need anything tonight, I'm right outside. You don't have to. I know, he said. I want to. After he left, the room felt peaceful. I held Aiden closer and whispered into his hair. You were never unwanted. He moved slightly in my arms. I kissed his forehead. Not even for 1 second. Outside, the storm finally stopped. Lena, you'll be late again, Nora said, holding Aiden while I searched for my shoe. I had it 5 minutes ago. You had sleep 5 years ago too, she replied. I laughed tiredly. If you find it, I'll name my next child after you.
Please don't, she said.
One tiny human is enough. Aiden reached toward me. Ma. I kissed his cheek. Mama has to work. Lucas appeared at the doorway. Daycare closed again. I sighed. Flu season. Entire building, he said. I can take him. You already watch him too much. He shrugged. Mia likes having a partner in crime. Mia ran in. We built a blanket cave. Aiden clapped. I hesitated. Are you sure? Lucas nodded.
Go.
I've got him. I handed Aiden over carefully. Be nice. Mia saluted. Mission accepted. Months passed like that. Online class tonight? Lucas asked one evening.
Yes.
Accounting exam. I'll keep them quiet. You don't have to tiptoe in your own home. He smiled. Your future is loud enough. Later I whispered into my laptop. Please sleep, please sleep. Aiden cried immediately. I groaned. Lucas gently took him. Study. I owe you everything. He shook his head. You owe him everything. Years rolled forward. First steps. Come to Mama, I encouraged. Aiden wobbled, then walked straight past me to Lucas. Lucas froze.
Oh,
I laughed. Traitor. Another year. Preschool morning. Mia held Aiden's hand. Stick with me. He nodded seriously. Sis. My heart warmed. Thank you, Mia. She shrugged. He's mine too. One evening after work, I collapsed onto the chair. I got promoted, I told Lucas. He smiled proudly. I knew it. Less night shifts. More sleep. Maybe someday, I said. Aiden played with toy cars between us. Lucas asked softly, You okay? I stopped waiting, I admitted. For him, yes. He nodded quietly.
good.
Time moved gently after that. Then one afternoon Aiden sat on the floor stacking blocks. I cooked behind him. Lucas fixed a shelf nearby. Aiden looked up and raised his arms. Duh. Everything froze. I turned slowly. What did you say? He pointed at Lucas again. Duh. Lucas stepped back instantly. No, buddy, My chest tightened but didn't hurt. Tears filled my eyes anyway. Lucas whispered, I'm sorry. I shook my head, voice soft.
No.
I knelt beside Aiden. He smiled proudly. Duh. I wiped my cheek and smiled back. He chose, I said quietly. Lucas looked at me carefully. Are you sure? Yes. I picked Aiden up. Family isn't always blood. Aiden hugged my neck. Mama. Lucas stood still, unsure. I met his eyes and said gently, Stay. He nodded once. And something in my life finally felt steady. Don't forget your lunch, I told Aiden, kneeling to fix his jacket. I want dinosaur sandwich, he said seriously. You got dinosaur sandwich. Lucas held the daycare door open. We're early today. I have a meeting, I said. Promotion means responsibility. Aiden grabbed Lucas's hand automatically. We stepped inside. Then I heard a voice behind me. Lena? My body reacted before my mind did. I turned slowly. Ethan stood near the entrance. Clean suit. Polished shoes. Expensive watch catching the light. Older. Sharper. But the same eyes. My heart stayed calm. He looked between me and Aiden. It's really you. I didn't answer. Aiden squeezed Lucas's leg. Mama? Lucas placed a steady hand on his shoulder. It's okay. Ethan stepped closer. I've been looking for you. Why? I asked quietly. He swallowed. I heard you moved. No one knew where. You didn't try very hard. His eyes shifted to Aiden again. The resemblance was undeniable. His voice dropped to a whisper. That's my son. Aiden hid fully behind Lucas now. I rested my hand on Aiden's back. We're leaving. Wait, Ethan said quickly. Please. Lucas didn't move, but his posture changed. Protective.
Come.
Ethan looked at him. You are? A neighbor, Lucas replied simply. Aiden peeked out. Dad, I want to go. The word hit the air. Ethan froze. Dad, he repeated softly. I felt nothing. No anger. No pain. Just distance. And that scared me more than anything. He calls me that, Lucas said gently. Ethan stared at him, then at me. You replaced me. You left, I answered. He rubbed his face. I was young. So was I. I panicked. I bled alone. His jaw tightened. You never told me he was born. You never asked. Silence stretched. Aiden tugged my sleeve. Mama, stranger loud. I knelt beside him. We're okay. Ethan crouched slowly. Hi. Aiden buried his face in Lucas's leg again. Ethan's voice broke slightly. He won't even look at me. He doesn't know you, I said. I want to, he replied. Lucas spoke calmly. This isn't the place. Ethan stood up, nodding. You're right. He pulled a card from his wallet and handed it to me. Please call me. I didn't take it. It fell to the floor. He stared at it, then at me. Do you hate me? I search myself for the answer. I don't feel anything, I admitted. His shoulders dropped. That's worse, he whispered. A teacher called from inside. Class starting. I took Aiden's hand. Come on. As we walked past him, he said softly, I'm not running this time. I paused but didn't turn. We'll see, I replied. Outside, Lucas asked quietly, You okay? I nodded slowly, but my chest felt unfamiliar, like a closed door someone had just knocked on. And I didn't know if I wanted to open it. Ethan called 3 days later. I almost ignored it. Hello. His voice came softer than I remembered. Thank you for answering. I have 10 minutes. I don't deserve even that, he said. But I'm asking anyway, can I see him? I stayed silent. I made a mistake, he continued. I was afraid. I thought my life would end. Instead, it felt empty. You noticed after 5 years? I noticed every day, he whispered. I closed my eyes. Seeing him isn't about you. I know, he said quickly. It's about him. I want to be part of his life. You weren't part of his beginning. I want his future. I hesitated. One meeting. Public place. Thank you. At the park, Aiden held my hand while Lucas stood beside us. Ethan approached slowly with a small toy dinosaur. Hi, Aiden. Aiden stepped behind Lucas instantly. Dad. Ethan froze again. He calls you that every time? Lucas answered calmly, only when he wants comfort. Ethan knelt down. I brought you something. Aiden peeked, then shook his head.
No.
It's okay, I told him. He grabbed Lucas's shirt tighter. Go home. Ethan's voice cracked. I'm not a stranger. Aiden hid his face. Stranger loud. Silence pressed heavy. Ethan lowered the toy to the ground. I missed everything, didn't I? I didn't answer. He wiped his eyes quickly. Can I walk with you? Aiden shook his head hard. No. Lucas crouched beside him. Hey, breathe. I want Dad, Aiden whispered. Lucas hugged him gently. I'm here. Ethan covered his mouth, trying not to cry. I did this, he murmured. I spoke quietly. Yes. He looked at me helplessly. Tell me how to fix it. You can't fix time. Days later, a letter arrived. Legal letter. Nora read it first. Custody petition. My hands trembled. His mother.
Lucas sighed softly.
We expected this. I whispered. He finally wants him, and now it's a case? That afternoon, Ethan appeared at my door. I didn't want court, he said. My mother insists. She always decides for you. Not this time, he said. I just want a chance. I stepped outside. You left before he took his first breath. You don't get his first memories. His eyes filled. I want the ones ahead. You start slowly, I replied. Not by taking him. He nodded. I'll fight fair. Later I met a woman in a small office. I'm Rachel Kim, she said warmly. Family lawyer. I sat nervously. I never wanted a battle. She smiled gently. This isn't war. It's protection. I'm scared. She handed me water. Courts care about stability. Tell me everything. I took a breath. Then listened carefully. Rachel adjusted my sleeve before we entered.
Breathe.
You're not on trial. It feels like I am. You raised him alone, she said. Facts are calm. Inside the courtroom, Ethan stood with his lawyer, his mother beside him. Margaret's eyes scanned me sharply, then softened when she saw Aiden holding my hand. Ethan whispered, Hi. Aiden hid behind my leg. The judge entered. Let's begin. Rachel squeezed my shoulder and stepped forward. Ethan's lawyer spoke first. DNA confirms Mr. Cole is the biological father. My chest tightened. Anyway, the judge nodded. Paternity established. Ethan looked relieved. His lawyer continued. My client now seeks shared custody and visitation. Rachel stood. Your Honor, we do not deny biology. We question timing and stability. The judge looked at me. How long was the father absent? I answered quietly. 5 years. Murmurs filled the room. Margaret shifted uncomfortably. Ethan spoke quickly. I was young. I panicked. The judge replied calmly, "Children do not pause development for fear." Rachel added, "The child formed attachments elsewhere." The judge looked down. "Where is the child most comfortable?" Rachel knelt beside Aiden. "Would you like to tell the judge who takes care of you?" Aiden looked at me first. I nodded gently. He pointed toward Lucas. "Dad reads bedtime." Ethan inhaled sharply. Rachel asked softly, "And who makes breakfast?" "Mama." The judge smiled kindly. "And Mr. Cole?" Aiden hesitated. "Stranger." Ethan closed his eyes. His lawyer tried again. "Children need their real father." Lucas finally spoke quietly. "I'm not replacing anyone." Everyone looked at him. "I'm just present," he added. The judge nodded thoughtfully. Rachel said, "Presence matters more than genetics in early development." Margaret suddenly stood. "My son can provide everything." The judge replied gently, "Everything except time already lost." Her voice trembled. "We tried to fix it." I looked at her, remembering the envelope. Rachel placed documents forward. Records show no support, no contact, no inquiry for 5 years. Ethan whispered. I searched. "Too late," she replied. Silence settled. The judge leaned forward. "Mr. Cole, why now?" Ethan's voice broke. "Because I saw him call another man dad and realized I deserved that pain." Margaret grabbed his hand, crying quietly. "First time I saw her human." The judge spoke carefully. "The court grants supervised visitation. Gradual introduction only. Custody remains with the mother." Ethan's shoulders dropped. Not angry, just defeated. As we stood to leave, he approached me. "I thought success would give me back control," he said softly. "It doesn't buy childhood," I answered. He nodded slowly. "I understand now." Lucas placed a hand gently on Aiden's shoulder. Ethan watched them. Tears fell freely this time. Not dramatic, just honest. And for the first time, the past felt finished. My phone buzzed. Ethan's name. I almost didn't answer. "Lena," he said softly. "Can we meet? Just us." I hesitated.
Fine.
1 hour. Public place. He nodded. "Thank you." We sat across from each other at a quiet cafe. Rain streaked the window. "I'm sorry," he said immediately. No hesitation, no excuses. I raised an eyebrow. "That's all."
No.
I'm sorry for leaving, for missing everything, for not being brave enough to stay." His voice broke slightly. "Fear ruined me." I studied him. 5 years ruined him too. He flinched. "I know. I can't get that back." "You can't," I agreed. "But I can forgive you." His eyes widened. "Really?" I nodded slowly.
Yes.
"I forgive you. But that doesn't mean I can invite you back into our lives." "What?" His voice trembled. "Forgiveness is an invitation," I said firmly. "Aiden has a father now. He's not the one who abandoned him." Ethan swallowed hard. I understand." He stayed silent for a moment, staring down at his coffee. I watched him finally accept the weight of what he lost. Outside, I heard laughter. I turned to see Aiden running toward Lucas in the park across the street. "Dad!" Aiden shouted. Lucas caught him effortlessly. They spun once and laughed. Ethan's face crumpled. Tears ran down his cheeks as he watched them. I placed my hand over mine. "He chose," I whispered quietly. Ethan looked at me, raw and broken. "I deserved this pain, didn't I?" I nodded.
Yes.
And maybe that's the lesson. You can't reclaim love by fear or regret, only by presence. But presence alone isn't enough anymore. He closed his eyes. I never knew he could love someone else like this. I leaned back in my chair. He doesn't need to replace anyone. He just needs stability, love, and honesty, all of which you refused to give him when it mattered most. "I was afraid of everything," he whispered. "Work, my mother, life itself. I didn't see you." "I saw you enough," I replied softly. "I saw your fear destroy what could have been." Another tear fell down his cheek. "I'm so sorry, Lena. I was a coward." You were, I admitted. And that's why you can't be a part of this family. He nodded slowly, silent tears falling freely now. I forgive you, I said again. But it stops here. Between us. He looked at me once more. I understand. The bell above the cafe door jingled. Aiden and Lucas walked past, hand in hand. Ethan choked back a sob. I can't believe I lost him like this. I reached across the table and placed a gentle hand on his. You did. And now you live with it. He stayed silent, staring at the boy running into Lucas's arms, crying openly, a grown man finally facing the consequences of his own choices. I whispered to myself, and this is the ending you earned. The sun was low when Lucas knocked softly on my door. Can I come in? He asked. I nodded. Of course. He stepped inside, hands in pockets, awkward but steady. I need to say something, he began. Something I've never said. I waited. I've loved you, he admitted quietly.
For years.
I never said it because I didn't want to replace anyone. I just wanted to be here. For you. For Aiden. I blinked. My stomach fluttered in a way that felt like home. You never demanded anything, I said softly. Never tried to force yourself into my life.
No, he said.
I knew you had your own path. I just stayed. Quietly. I leaned back in my chair. Love doesn't always roar, does it? He smiled faintly.
No. Sometimes it waits.
Sometimes it waits silently until it's safe to step forward. I swallowed. I see it now. All these years, I didn't realize how patient it was. How steady. How true. Lucas stepped closer, voice gentle. I want to stay. Not because you need me. Not because it's convenient. But because I want to. I want us. I want this family. I felt warmth in my chest. Real, quiet warmth. I want that too, I whispered. I want you. All of you. And not as a replacement, but as someone I choose. He exhaled slowly, relief washing over him. I smiled, then called softly, Aiden, come here. Our little boy ran into the room, eyes bright, hands reaching for Lucas. Dad, he asked. I crouched beside him. Yes, buddy. Can Dad stay forever? I glanced at Lucas. His face softened with a shy smile, tears glinting in his eyes. I looked back at Aiden and whispered, he already did. Aiden hugged Lucas tightly. Forever. Lucas laughed softly, holding both of us. Forever, he repeated. I wrapped my arms around both of them. This is our choice. Our family. Not because it's easy, but because it's ours. He kissed my forehead gently. I promised to stay no matter what. I smiled, heart full. No promises needed. We'll figure it out together. Aiden giggled, jumping between us. We're family. Yes, we are, I said. And this time it's different. It's real. Lucas brushed a strand of hair from my face. I waited, and now I get to stay. I leaned into him, and I waited too, for someone who would never run, who would never leave us behind. Aiden tugged at my hand. Can we play now? Of course, I said, laughing. Lucas whispered, I'm glad you chose me. I smiled, heart swelling. I chose us. And in that quiet moment, surrounded by the little family we had built through years of struggle, I knew patience and love had won. Forever wasn't just a word. It was us. The auditorium smelled like popcorn and paint. I sat in the back, knees tucked under me, heart fluttering. Aiden's first school play. Lucas squeezed my hand gently. You ready? I nodded. I've been ready for this. The curtain rose. Bright lights lit the stage. Aiden stepped forward, tiny but confident. He looked directly at the audience and said, Everyone, I want to introduce my family. I held my breath.
He pointed at me.
This is my mom. I waved, trying not to cry. And this is my dad. Lucas stood, smiling warmly, waving back. His eyes met mine.
Quiet. Steady.
Safe. The audience clapped. Aiden beamed. I whispered, Look at him, he's happy. Lucas nodded. And he always will be. From the edge of the crowd, I noticed Ethan, standing quietly, watching from a distance. He didn't approach. He didn't call.
He just observed.
I studied him. His posture was heavy, but his face calm. For the first time, I didn't feel anger. He caught my eye briefly and gave a small nod. I returned it with a gentle smile. Years of pain, betrayal, and fear dissolved into that moment. My life didn't end that night, 5 years ago when he left. It began. Aiden clapped his hands as the play ended. I hugged Lucas, laughing softly. He's perfect, isn't he? The best, Lucas whispered. Ethan turned to leave. I watched him go. Not with hatred, not with bitterness, but with acceptance. Some lessons are harsh. Some people leave scars. But some moments like this heal everything. Aiden ran toward us, backpack bouncing.
Mom. Dad.
We did it. I lifted him into my arms. Yes, we did, baby. Lucas hugged both of us. We did it together. I glanced at Ethan one last time. He stopped at the door, watched us, and smiled faintly. And I realized karma doesn't always punish. Sometimes it just shows who truly deserves to stay. I kissed Aiden's forehead. Our life started long ago, and it's only getting better. Lucas leaned down, whispering in my ear, "This is our family." Yes, I breathed. And it's ours forever. The applause from the audience washed over us. Aiden laughed. I laughed. And for the first time in a long time, I felt completely, unshakably at peace.